Hey, Steve from GuitarZoom here. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to be making a couple of videos here to try and help you better understand some basics of ear training for guitar players. Now, I actually have a new guitar course coming out called Ear Training Made Easy 2.0. And it's actually an upgrade from an old course that I had, Ear Training Made Easy. And the big thing is I went back and I was watching it and I decided that the video itself was kind of old. It was made a few years ago, and there was just a lot more topics that I really wanted to cover, so I created a new one. So if for some reason you own the old course, Ear Training Made Easy 2.0, or excuse me, Ear Training Made Easy, and you'd like to upgrade, you're actually going to get an upgrade price. But anyway, my point is that I wanted to show you some different things. So I got a couple videos coming out your way that should help you a little bit. Now, in order to start preparing for ear training as a guitar player, there's a couple things that you really need to learn. First of all, you want to be able to hear the difference between major and minor chords. Now, there are many chords out there, seventh chords and ninth chords and all sorts of different things. But chords start really in their infancy as being a major or a minor chord for most of the music that we play. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play some chords for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to listen to them and we're going to try and pick out the sounds that we hear. Now, I go into far more detail in this in the guitar course, but I want you to start thinking about this a little bit. So when you turn on the radio and you start listening to music, maybe you can start identifying the differences between the major and minor sounds. So let's do this. Okay, major is going to sound more happy, more content, if you will. Where when you hear them contrasted with minor sounds tend to be a bit more dark or sad sounding. So let's say I played an A major chord. This note right here is what we call the major third. Okay, and again, we're going to go into detail on that in the guitar course, but that's the note that really defines this as being a major chord or a happy sounding chord. If I take that major third and I convert it to a minor third, you get this minor sound. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play some chords for you, and what I want you to do is in your mind try and define whether what you're hearing sounds major or minor. So here's the first one. Okay, so I'm going to have the camera turned off, and I do this in the guitar course. There's a bunch of different quizzes and things for you to take in the course to try and develop your ability to hear chord sounds and scales and intervals and all sorts of different things like that. So here we go. I'm going to shut the camera off, and now you're going to be listening and decide whether you hear major or minor. Here we go. Okay, here's another one. Camera off. Here's another example. All right, and here's a third example. All right, so one of the first steps to ear training is learning how to develop the sounds of chords. Now, in the guitar course, again, we're going to be talking about intervals. We're going to be talking about song development in terms of movement up and down on the fretboard and how to quickly find a chord progression, things like that. We're going to talk about basic theory, different things like that. But right now, what I want you to focus on is listening to see when you listen to a song on the radio or on the TV or something like that, does a certain chord sound major or minor? And what you can do is just practice. Like if you're sitting around with your guitar, let's say I'm using an E chord. Just listen to it, see what you think of it, and then practice the sound of the minor. Now, all too many times when we're learning how to play guitar, we're practicing something, right? A scale or a technique or something, and we're not really spending any time actually listening to the sounds that we're creating. We're just playing. And so every once in a while, like if you know your bar chords, you can take an F sharp major and contrast that to a minor. And maybe take some of the songs that you know and listen to those sounds and start identifying the difference between the minor and the major sounds. So that's step one. That's where I want you to start. Okay, and then in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about learning songs by direction using the 6th string. This is a really great trick. And again, we'll be talking about this in Ear Training Made Easy 2.0.